I have to be in the hospital at 10 a.m. Not eating beforehand was easy as my stomach was a knot. Not drinking water since 8 a.m. was a tougher challenge, especially since I get so thirsty with every hot flash. My older sister and Owen will come with me to the hospital in the morning. After reaching the right check-in desk, we are led into a tiny room to go through all the details of my visit. I have been warned that I will have to state what's happening to me this visit's approximately 8 times. Time to go to my room and wait for surgery. I have my own room, with which I am very happy. It has a bed, a little desk, a couch, and a relatively large bathroom. Not too bad at all. I change into a hospital shirt and settle in. The surgery itself is scheduled for about 11, so I shouldn't need to wait too long. I get some paracetamol and wait for my turn. It takes a bit longer than expected, but eventually 2 people show up to ride my bed to the surgery prep room. Owen and my sister can come with me till we have to go through some big doors. I was prepared for this whole morning to be emotional, especially the riding away from them part. But I even surprised myself by being fairly calm. Just a little nervous if anything. No teary farewell as I rolled away. Just laying in bed looking around and trying to see what was happening around me. I used to ride horses, and when saddling up you would normally park your horse at a pole. I kind of felt like I was a horse and was being led to my spot, next to others. Everyone in their own beds, a little curtain next to them so you couldn't see their faces. Everyone did get asked to explain in their own words why they were there. The person on my left was getting a bypass. The person on my right had to get his appendix removed. I had to get my left breast removed. The nurses had put a big arrow on it to make sure they would remove the correct one. It seemed simple. This was surgery central and everyone was going through something rough. When I started on chemotherapy, I was told that I had some great veins, easy to put an IV in. Unfortunately, chemotherapy isn't nice to your veins, and they had to size down the needle since I now had kids' veins. The IV had to be on my right side, which was the tougher side. The first 2 attempts failed, resulting in 2 bruises that would stay for 3 weeks, but the 3rd time's a charm. The anesthetist that would be with me during the surgery came to my bed then and first addressed my worries regarding my vocal cords. She told me that they had 2 ways of keeping me breathing through my surgery. One was indeed via intubation, where the tube passes the vocal cords. There was, however, also a second method with a device that stopped right before the vocal cords, removing the risk of damaging them. They would start using that method, but there was still a chance they had to switch to intubation if it didn't work properly. I was so relieved. Even though I knew the chance of permanent damage was small, it was still a weight off my shoulders. She would also be administering the jab in my back. A quick, simple jab, I thought. It wasn't until she produced 2 massive syringes that I knew I had thought wrong. This turned out to be a 3-person job. One nurse stood in front of me holding my shoulders as I sat on the side of the bed. The other 2 stood at my back using an ultrasound. The right nerve was located, after which a hollow needle was put in. One of the nurses kept the needle in the right location, constantly monitoring it with the ultrasound. The other nurse slowly put the fluid through while counting down. I am not sure if I can describe it as pain. It was an odd feeling of intense discomfort. Of course I had to get a hot flash during that moment as well, to make things just a little bit worse. I remember that the nurse who was counting down had the most calm and soothing voice, while the nurse in front of me had a firm hold on my shoulders. And then I was done. Ready for surgery, ready for losing my breast. The surgery before me ran a bit late apparently, so I had to wait a bit longer, and I noticed my breast go numb from the anesthetics. It was time then. Off I went to operating room 2. I got rolled in on my bed and had to go from the bed onto the surgery table myself. I then got covered with a preheated blanket. The room was actually quite chilly. I had met the surgeon before, but he did look different in his scrubs and with a little blue hat on. There were about 5 to 6 people in the room, all patiently waiting for me to lay down and be passed out. My arms were spread out beside me on special holders, and once again I was asked why I was there. Everyone had to hear that I was having my breast removed by choice. And then it was time. I remember being told that they would put me under, and I was looking at the lights, and within seconds they became blurry and I was gone. I woke up because I was thirsty, so incredibly thirsty. Blurry-eyed, I managed to get the attention of a nurse and asked for some water. She told me I had to eat a popsicle first. I remember thinking it's strange, but I ate that as fast as humanly possible and asked for water the moment I finished it. I ended up getting 2 cups, which I drained instantly. In my thirst, I had forgotten for a moment that I would be missing a boob at this moment. When I checked it, I saw a nice white bandage and it looked really neat. There was no drain in it despite expecting one, and I didn't feel any pain at all. I was feeling pretty good actually. The nurse told me that I was out of surgery for 18 minutes. I think she expected me to fall asleep again, but I was wide awake. After I had been looking around for a while and making it clear that I wasn't about to fall asleep again, I was picked up and wheeled back to my room. At this point, the thirst had been replaced by a healthy appetite. When I got out of surgery, my doctor had called my younger sister, who was staying at my apartment that day. She was the one to inform my family and friends of how everything went. The surgeon told her the surgery had gone well and I would be sleeping for approximately 2 hours. Because of this, they were not expecting me to be in my room as fast as I was, so when I messaged them that I was hungry, it was quite a surprise. Luckily, they were already